This week, the cosmos offers us an opportunity for rebirth. This is astrology philosophy for February 8th through 14th. And I don't know about you, but I could use a little rebirth in my life at the moment. The 49th gene key moves from reaction to rebirth, and it is the pathway of revolution. We react to raw emotion. Reaction is a knee-jerk response to an outer stimulus, and it's what allows us to kill. It's what allows us to kill other animals. It's what allows us to kill other humans because it cuts us off from emotion. This gene key is tribal in nature. It sees outsiders as a threat. And in our history, we needed this switch to feel safe and to be able to survive. But as long as we see our tribe as good and outsiders as bad, we're stuck in the duality of this Maya. The fuel for reaction, the fuel for taking another's life, is the fear of rejection. It's the fear that somebody is going to reject you before you have a chance to reject them. And even with lots of awareness, you might not react outwardly, but we still have this inner reaction. Maybe we've gotten our frequency to a point where I don't need to express what is surging through me, but nonetheless, you feel that reaction surging through your body. This is the coal face. This 49th key is the coal face of our current evolution. It is what the collective and all of us as individuals are working on right now. And it's what is going to lead us into revolution and into the rebirth of our society. The dilemma of this key is needs, physical urges from desire, emotional needs, spiritual needs. And needs aren't the problem. The problem is how we respond or react to those needs. If you miss your coffee in the morning, for example, do you have a miserable day because of that? That means you are trapped by that need. And that's just something small. Now imagine if the need was for sex or for food. And our desires often lead us to disappointment. And it is on us. It was our desire. It's time to dig into these needs. What needs are pure? And what needs are inessential, because there are some needs that are pure. There are things that we truly need biologically, spiritually, to feed our body and to feed our soul. The needs aren't the problem, remember, it's our reaction to it. But freedom is recognizing that we don't need to react. Instead, we accept our needs, we accept our relationship to them, and we accept that it doesn't need to be satisfied. And in fact, we need to start to sort through what needs are true in the first place. And that brings us to the 49th gift of revolution. As I said, this is a current mutation. And because of this mutation, we're seeing less and less violence in the world. And I know there's a lot going on right now. We've got Ukraine, we've got Yemen, we've got Israel, then the list goes on. But as a whole, there's far less violence in the world than there used to be. And this revolution, this 49th revolution, is a revolution of peace. When stagnant energy is brought to the surface, all that can happen is revolution. This comes out of us and we have to start acting in a new way, and that is a revolution. When we understand, which is the programming partner here, the fourth gift, we don't need to react because we see what's below the person, the thing taking the action in the first place. We understand them, we get it, and so we have an option to not have to engage with them. This energy is still destructive at the gift frequency, right? Remember, this is the shadow that allows us to murder, and the gift is still destructive, but what it destroys is everything that is operating at a lower frequency. This is a collective gift, but past revolutions in the collective have also destroyed the good along with the bad. And what understanding does is ensures that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Reform, revolution, is not based on anger when it's out of this 49th gift. It's not based on fear, but instead is based on love. Some needs come from below and some needs come from above. And the 49th gift is the great sorter of those needs. Our soul has needs. We need love. We need awareness. And unfortunately, oftentimes we don't listen to the needs of our souls. We also have physical needs. We need food. We need water. We need shelter. But ultimately, we honor those things in a way that doesn't honor our actual true self. We go too far. We need food, but we overconsume. We need love, and we turn to a phone and watch porn. And this gift is about coming into balance as we throw out the needs that no longer serve us. And no shame in any of those things that I just said. It is part of being human. It's part of the story. And when you're ready, it's time to sort through what you actually need and what you can let go of. Things become harder as we start to let go, because as things become less and less obvious, something that we wouldn't even think about starts to come into our awareness as something like, do I actually need to react to that? Do I actually need that thing? And they get smaller and smaller. This was called the gate of the butcher back in the old I Ching, because it is about cutting away those things that no longer serve. And what we can do is we can show others through this gift what we don't need. And it's a reflection, it's a mirror for them to see that they maybe don't need all the things that they think they do either. Because remember, simplicity is freedom. Moving now into the 49th city of rebirth. This is the rebirth of freedom, and it's the freedom of rebirth. This 49th key is tied to the 55th in the codon ring, known as the Ring of the Whirlwind. And the 55th city and the 55th gift is freedom. And the 55th, if you haven't read it yet, go read it now. It is the prophecy of the Gene Keys. It talks about the future of humans, the Trivian race, which I'm going to get into here in just a bit. Revolutions keep coming around. Right? Revolution, the word, turn around and around. And if you look at the history of humans, there's been revolution after revolution after revolution, and we've gotten almost nowhere. Rebirth, however, leaps via evolution and involution at key moments. And what is coming is the rebirth of humanity, a new type of human. Like there used to be Neanderthals, and there was Homo sapiens, and there was this process of Neanderthals going extinct and Homo sapiens taking over the planet. So too there will be a Homo, what Richard Rudd calls Homo sanctus, the next evolution of humans. The world cannot be fixed like it is right now. There's no way about it, because everything was built on fear. Everything was built on anger and on the other. So if this is true, why does it matter? Why follow our gifts? And the answer to that is because we need to make the waves to start this rebirth. We are part of this process. It's the engagement with you and the world that furthers evolution. And sometimes, by the grace of God, involution reaches down and helps in that process. But nonetheless, you're part of making the ripples. You've got to do the work. And this revolution, this rebirth will happen because it must happen. But we still have to create it. Avatars are the early echoes of our future. They're forcing an early mutation in our DNA so that the human vehicle can learn to hold this new awareness, this new way of being in the world. And if you don't know what an avatar is, this is a soul that is chosen to come back after awakening without the need to. They choose, like a bodhisattva, to come back and serve and help other souls get further and further along. And they are doing the work of establishing this vehicle for us so that when it is time, we can step into our new role. And the reboot of our DNA is the primary purpose of this 49th city, because DNA is going to rebuild itself into a triple helix. The 55th gene key is about an individual awakening. This 49th is about the collective. However, it's a collective awakening that comes from individuals. This triple helix is part of the Trivian race. So if you've ever heard of the Atlantean race, which is before the Great Flood, in the time of the pyramids, when there was clearly this other way of being, this other source of knowledge that we've lost. And there is another race, the 6th race, coming after us, this Trivian race, this 3-part being where we get to overcome duality. And it is like a moth and a butterfly. We will look totally different. And the heart of the Trivian race is sacred union, because we have the 2 forms and then the 3rd transcending unity of merged awareness in those 2 forms. And if it doesn't seem like we can save the world right now, as it is, it's because we can't. However, there will be a new person, a new way of being. And when that happens, when we see, imagine if somebody came back right now, it only takes one, and could fly or could raise people from the dead. That changes everything. And when something like that happens, which Richard Rudd prophesizes will happen by 2027, so we are right here, right now, everything flips and the great rebirth begins. And at that point, it's all about you sorting your needs and choosing which way you're going to go. Will you be part of this new rebirth, or will you live in fear and be stuck in the energy that we've been in for a very, very long time?